person. Actually, I tried to help. I tried to help people by standing up against it, showing it, showing it how it doesn't like what it's doing to other people. But they don't learn. They know not what they do. And, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it no more. I'm not going to do it no more. Um, it's not, it's not my job. It's not my job to try to lead these evil people into heaven. It's not my job. It's their job. It's their job to stop being evil. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink, right? And
Soaring too high to be coming down, really
and
feeling on the stage
I
now.
think
When
I'm
I'm rolling
finally
loud, it's been getting
understanding.
hot. Raise the flame and ain't
You
going
know,
now. How about I let you know when
sometimes
to put my
sometimes
pinky in your
God
mouth? I'm untouchable,
will put us on
unfuckable, like cold
a
cutty
path
lunchable,
to
smiling through your cud,
understanding.
looking like you've seen a ghost. Guess I'm
What I'm
cool,
saying is,
motherfucker, and I wrote that shit
I
3 years
think
ago.
God put me
Want me to
on a
keep you
path
around when you've
to
been nothing but a
understanding.
pest? Trying to bring you down to
I
your
was
level of
trying to
respect.
be
I bet you get your
a
shit
mirror
together, then we'll
reflection
reconnect.
of
No,
these
nothing
people
personal,
who
I
was
just couldn't
coming
care
at us
less.
sideways,
I
that was
will let you
coming,
waste my
all their
time if
hatred
you
coming
play
at us
games.
sideways.
Take your place
I
in
was trying to
line,
be a
oh
mirrored
no. Wanna fill my
reflection to
state
them,
of mind, slowing down and
hoping they
showing
would
up at the
change.
same damn time. I
And
swear,
I worked with
showing
them,
out.
and I worked
Man,
with
it sure
them,
is
and I
shameful when
worked
you
with
run your
them.
mouth.
You
You'll be
know,
taking up a spot if you don't plan
I
on
love
stepping
them, but
down.
I
Bet you
don't
bust a
like
fucking
them
fast,
because
no
they're,
dead weight allowed, no
they're
dead weight. That
evil
truly
and
makes
they're
me laugh. How
mean
often I don't think
and they're
about you.
bullies,
The lack of weight in your words, have a
and
ring about them.
they
The matter
just
of the
talk
moment,
about
we
us
won't
really
sing around
bad,
you.
and
And when the curtains
for
close, we'll
whatever
gladly be
reasons
without you.
I don't
Meaning
know.
without the sentiment, and
I
that's a
don't
fact. You
care.
better clean up your act. You're only
Um,
holding me back. That
but
results in cutting off the dead weight and the fat. Why take
I
every step
tried,
forward just for 30 to
I
back? Say
tried
you want some slack, but you refuse to
letting them
come and take
see
it
what
from me.
they
Give a
look
baby
like
bitches
and
pacifier. Cages
hoping they
fucking down, you
stop,
shitted yourself.
but
If
they
there's no one
don't.
to help you
They
wifey,
don't.
guarantee I'll never ever
They
give a
just take
fuck
it
if
as
you
a
don't like
green
me
light
shit.
to do
I stay
more,
10 toes and never let go.
to
See my
hate more,
growth, but
to
never
be
your
more,
change. Hit on
even
my
more
back, no, I
evil.
don't attend pity parties, let
And
alone read your death note. Say you're doing your best,
it's
but
not
I'm
my
doing it
job.
tenfold. I won't let you
You know,
waste my
my
time if you
job is
play
to tell them,
games. Take
hey,
your place in line, oh
you got to
no.
heaven to
Wanna feel my
gain, the hell
state
to
of
shun.
mind, slowing down and showing up at the same damn
You
time. I
gain that
swear,
heaven through
showing out.
Jesus Christ.
Man, it
The
sure is
only way to
shameful when you
God
run
is
your
through
mouth.
his son
You'll be
Jesus.
taking up a spot if you don't plan to hold it
And you
down.
got
Bet you
to,
bust a
go
fucking
through
fast, no
Jesus
dead weight
to
allowed,
get to
no dead
God.
weight allowed.
You need to repent of your sins, and you need to, you need to get your eyes open. You need to get baptized, your eyes open. If they don't listen, that's not my problem. Not my problem. You know, I have to, I have to tell them. I have to tell them that is my job, is to tell them. But I don't have, to turn
So
to the
cause they
righteous side.
demonstrate in
I don't have to do that.
violence. Turn and run away
That I was
from
just throwing that in
sirens.
extra
Instead, just somewhere
because,
safe and
I'm a
quiet. If
caring
only you
person.
could hear the fucking things
I'm a very
inside
caring
my
person.
head.
I like
So
to
cause
see
they
everybody go to
demonstrate
heaven,
in
not somebody.
violence. Turn and
I
run
try to
away
show
from
people what they look
sirens.
like,
Instead, just somewhere safe
you know,
and quiet. If
hoping
only
they
you could hear
change,
the
but they
fucking
don't.
things
But
inside
they
my
don't.
head. Paint
And
pictures only
I
makes
think it was
images
just a
false. Giving
walk. It was
everything
just
you
a walk
have, but
with the
it's just
Lord to
sort of the
show
cause.
me
Diabolical.
how
Straightens up your
tired
life, only makes
God
you
gets
strong, and it fucks your
with
trust issues.
working
Hate to
with
say I
people
proved
as
you
well.
wrong. You can run and scream and hide away,
Because
but there's
now
no
I know.
escaping night and day.
I
You'll never
know.
see it coming. Won't commit to
I
see it
got a
child's play.
view.
You'll see a different
I
side
got
of
a
me. The
view
reason is to
of,
hibernate,
of
to
how
slow your own
tiresome it
protection.
can
I'm too
be
scared to see the beast I've
to
made.
keep
We
working with
created it, we
someone
never look back.
that
Matter of
doesn't
fact, shut your
want
mouth, don't come at me with that. Your lack of context is
to be
causing
righteous.
conflict, that's a fact. See you trying to change the subject, I'm not
And
trying to forget. I
I
forget,
understand
but y'all
fully
never
why
get the
God
fucking
turns this
chance
back on
again. When our
people,
friends, there's
turns
no
them over
interest
to a
in making
reprobate
those
mind.
amends. It depends on what the rock
Because,
feel like breaking necks. Must be a lucky day,
your
cause I ain't
mercy
got no
can
time
only
for that,
extend so
yeah.
far,
So close to demonstrating violence. Turn and run
you
away
know,
from
and it's
sirens.
over.
In search of somewhere safe and quiet. If only you could hear the fucking things inside my head. So close to demonstrating violence. Turn and run away from sirens. In search of somewhere safe and quiet. If only you could hear the fucking
Yeah, that's so true. So true, Jackie. And I'm gonna tell you, they they just spread lies after lies after lies, you know. And God's the truth. I tell the truth. Haters hate the truth. Haters do not like to hear the truth because it irritates their evil spirits, right? It irritates that, those evil spirits that they let house them up. They don't like to hear the truth. And, and the devil is the, father of all liars. There's people out here quoting the Bible. They act like they're talking to PG, they're quoting the Bible. They don't even know the Bible. The Bible don't even say what they're saying. They're liars. They're not only liars on what they're not only putting false witness against PG and my chat, but they're also, lying about the Bible. They're saying what they've heard because they ain't ever took time to read God's word. They ain't ever took time to study the Bible, read the Bible, and learn the Bible. So they just put down, stuff they heard, which ain't even true. And that's sad. It's sad. And, and some of them are so uneducated that they have to write everything down because they're not able to mentally just come out and say what they need to say. They write it all down trying to sound educated, and they're not educated at all reading it off that paper. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Hey girl. Hey, you missed me, PG. Hey girl, I'm glad you hung up that tinfoil hat. I really am. God bless. Anyway, I need to get back to what we was doing. Last night, not last night, the night before, we had gotten through a lot of the interview with Marlena. We didn't get completely through it. I'm going to hold off on that for a minute because I don't want us to run out of time tonight. I'm going to hold out on that for right now. And, if we have to, we can pick that back up tomorrow night. We can pick up tomorrow night where we left off tonight on that. But, I wanted to, put out, what Fred Hill had to say about Cotton Simpson. I want to refresh all of your memories with what he had to say about Cotton. Ziggy came out, she wanted to post up part 1 and part 2 and part 3 and man, she really drug it out. She really drug it out for the self-gain, right? I mean, she put what you could put in one video in like 5, and really drug it out, because that's what evil humans do that really don't. I mean, she really cared about Summer Moon Utah Wells. She really cared about, other humans. She wouldn't ever, hooked up with Fred Hill to begin with, right? If Ziggy would have been the right kind of person, she wouldn't have been evil. She wouldn't have took Fred away from Laura, right? She wouldn't have did that. She wouldn't have went down there and befriended Fred and Laura and act like Laura's friend just to steal Fred away. I'm sure Fred wasn't too hard to steal, right? I'm sure he wasn't very hard to remove from Laura. I don't think he'd be too hard to remove from Ziggy if somebody wanted him. But to be honest with you, you know, Fred kind of goes whichever way the wind's blowing, right? But point being is, she wanted to run that for, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I tell you, I got it all. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I seen on those where there was a lot of, you know, comment like been deleted. I didn't ever delete not one comment between me and Fred. I did not ever delete not even one. So they did that. They removed. I ain't sure exactly what they've removed yet because I haven't had time to, you know, go back and look at what they were trying to hide from everybody. But I have it all, every last bit of it. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot. But it could be done. It could be done in a couple of videos. 1 or 2 videos. It can, you know, you can see everything. You know, and I'm gonna put out the real. I mean, they wanted, you know, if they wanted to put out everything, you know, and mess up a lot of stuff going on in Summer's case, you know, which they did. You know, Ziggy didn't care if she, you know, messed up the investigation and everything going on with Summer's case. She didn't care, you know, putting out all, you know, all the stuff that's being discussed behind the scenes for this little girl. You know, and so she didn't care, and she's already, you know, I'm pretty sure whatever she blocked out was, you know, stuff she didn't want you guys seeing. And I'm not like that. You know, I just didn't think that stuff should have been exposed so soon because they're still looking into, you know, Morrison Cemetery. They're still looking into, you know, some nooks and crannies up there upon Ben Hill and around Ben Hill. They're still looking into a few of these people, trying to get the information they can from different sources. But you know, but she's already let the cat out of the bag there, and that's fine with me because I'm gonna bring it all for everyone to see. And you know, even the stuff that she tried to act like, you know, was missing, you're gonna see it. I will put it, you know, I will run it through and bring it out. See, the difference between me and them is I bring the truth. They don't. They hide shit. They hide stuff. You know, stuff that's gonna make them look bad, they hide it. And I could tell in the videos they were hiding stuff. And I don't hide nothing. I don't hide anything. Ziggy knows that. So, you know, and they probably think that, you know, I don't have it all. I'm gonna tell you now, I record everything. I make a rundown of everything. From the first day I talked to Fred all the way up until, well, just recently. I run a whole slideshow of it. I keep it all, you know, because I know how people like to take stuff away, try to hide stuff, and, you know, and do their dirty little, you know, fixes, right? They do their little fix on things. and it ain't gonna happen. And that's why I keep all the receipts. That's why PG does what I do, because I don't want people being able to lie on me, about me, and I sure to hell, ain't gonna put up with them, hiding stuff, from Summer's case. I will not let them, get away with the leading and taking out and putting me in, on this baby's case. It ain't gonna happen. I keep everything. I don't tolerate this kind of stuff. So I am working to get all of that together. There's about, Lord have mercy, there's a lot of, it's not only the chat, like she showed you. It's not just the chat. I got like 40 hours of talking to Fred. Like 40 hours of speaking with Fred. And here's a little bit what Ziggy and Fred don't want you hearing, but I've already played it before. I'm just playing it again to refresh your memories. Did Don Wells, Don Wells and Candace both, they're adamantly saying, we don't know Cotton Simpson. We don't know this guy. We ain't never seen this guy. We know nothing about this guy. Is that true?
Well, I do know that Cotton, the last time I spoke to him, he was talking about being up at 110 the day Summer went missing. And he's talking about sleeping with mother and daughter. He didn't say whether it was Candace and Grandis or Summer and Candace.
Cause I'm better than that. Check the receipts embedded in my raps, you see what I show, motherfucker. Remember that. Come in the shade for the benefit.
He said that Cotton said he was up there sleeping with mother and daughter, and he doesn't know if it was Grandis and Candace or Candace and Summer. What would even make him think? What would even make him think that it was Candace and Summer? Would you think of something like that? Just a yes or no. Just a yes or no, you guys. Be honest. Please be honest. Do you think about something like that? Would you think if somebody told you that they just been up on Ben Hill Road messing with a mom and a daughter, would you even think of putting a 5-year-old little girl Summer in the equation of that? Would you even think of that? I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't even have thought about Summer. If I heard something like that coming out of this Cotton's mouth, if it was true, and I heard that coming out of his mouth, I would immediately thought, Grandis and Candace, right? These two old bags that were all over Jose, that were, all over different men that come up there and stuff. I would think it's, the old women, right? The old ladies up there. I wouldn't even think of this child being in that equation at all. So, what does that say for Fred? What does this say for Fred Hill? Fred Hill put Summer into an essay scene when he went up on the hill and seen her in a swimming pool with Jody Sue's son, right? Am I wrong? Or am I right? Am I right or wrong? Didn't he say he went up on 110 Ben Hill and he saw Summer in the pool with this Jody Sue's son, and and was insinuating that it was an essay type thing going on between Summer and that and that young boy. Yes. That's what Fred said. That's what Fred insinuated. Yeah, he did. He did. Matter of fact, I have, you know, I've got that too. I've got that as well. You know, him insinuating it. He did, you know, insinuate, that, you know, that Jody Sue's son was, you know, doing something disgusting this summer. What was Fred doing up there? What was Fred doing up there? Because you know what it sounded like to me? I mean, this is my opinion, right? This is my opinion. Just saying. My opinion is Fred was up there, you know, Fred was up there for his turn. It sounds like he was up there for his turn and didn't like seeing Jody Sue's son or thinking Jody Sue's son was going before him. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I think that's why he was able to put Summer in the equation with Cotton. I think that's why, you know, he was saying, well, I don't know if it was Grandis and Candace or Candace and Summer. Right? Because, you know, Fred was up there. And that right there proves that Fred knows what was going down. That proves that Fred knows that they were up there, you know, doing what Jody Sue said. Sedating little girls to be touched. Right? And Fred seemed to be up there too. Put a one in the chat if you think I'm right. Because you know what? I'm starting to believe I am. I'm starting to believe that I absolutely am. You know? I didn't ever piece it together before. I didn't ever really take time to piece it all together before. You know, it often bothered me at Fred, you know, I often told you guys, I said, I don't know what Jody Sue's son had on his mind, but I sure to hell knew what Fred had on his when he saw Jody Sue's son in that pool, right? I said, I know what he had on his mind, and I didn't like it, you know? Because I wouldn't have had that on my mind. I mean, you know, only person that would have that on their mind is, you know, is a person that does it. Is a person that is, you know, evil enough to do it. Why, you know, why would you think that way if you don't do it? Because I wouldn't have thought it. You know, that's my opinion. You know, that's just my opinion, right? Just saying. And, you know, I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all, Stephanie. I don't. You know, I hope to God not at one point too. I was hoping to God not, you know. I didn't even want to think that these people were evil enough to do such an evil thing to little Summer. I didn't want, you know, for Summer's sake, for this little girl's sake, I was trying to turn a blind eye to the truth, you know, to what I had to eventually face. And it, you know, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but you gotta face it for Summer's sake in order to understand, you know, exactly the tragedy that she went through at the hands of these evil human beings up there, right? And in my opinion, she went, you know, that little girl didn't just walk through hell, they drug her through it, right? They drug her through it as well. And, you know,
makes me dangerous. I said me, myself, and I, accompanied by growth and changes, makes me dangerous. Yeah.
She was defenseless. She was just a baby. She's just a little tiny baby. Just a little girl. She couldn't defend herself. She screamed, she begged, she asked for help. Nobody would give it to her. She was just a little girl being overpowered by a force of evilness. I don't think any of us could ever really comprehend, because it's that bad. It's that evil. It's that torturous. And this baby was at the hands of it all.
I do as I please. You won't be hearing from me. Heart so big, gotta keep it cold.
Until it completely destroyed her.
I clearly see you switching
That's
sides
my
for convenience sake. Gave too much, I could
Well,
probably say.
you
Still
know,
going
he
hard,
didn't
doing more
specifically
today.
say
Drink too much
exactly
to the Lord,
which
I pray.
one.
Goddamn,
Do you
go
remember
achieve
that
when
right
I wanna
after Summer's
fucking need
disappearance
to? I
that,
got it, I believe that I'll do it. Watch and see me,
Dawn
no
and
problem
Candace
if
and
your
all of those
feelings
acting
get brought
really
up. There's no
Grandis
need to
ran the hell out of there.
conversate. Take that fuckboy
Andy
shit
Lenore ran
away,
the
back
hell out of
away.
there.
Yeah, you can't
The
fuck
law
with
enforcement
me.
made Grandis sleep because she's
You don't know a thing. I'm still
See,
moving on the
Fred lied. Fred lied on Grandis too. Fred's making shit up as he goes. He's acting like he knows when he don't know shit. Andrew, in the freaking backstage right now. Andrew is in backstage. I'm gonna tell you something, Andrew. Get lost. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. Get lost.
You make your problems, that's a fact. Wish I knew where I was going. Can't be losing any focus. Every fucked up day is always worth it in the moment. Cause you can't fuck with me. I stay doing what I wanna. You don't know a thing. I'm still moving on the down low. Settle, that's a fact.
He left a message in the back chat.
You can't fuck with me. I stay doing what I want.
He must be doing that right now, Andrew. You must know what it's like. You know, you must know what it's like to do that.
Don't mistake me for second best, yeah.
So you've got to actually know how, you know, to separate yourself from other people before you can actually, you know, and you have to know another person in order to really talk about them. You got to do a lot of research and study and you know, to know what you're, you know.
But they all talk till I catch you on public, then you all saw nothing more than enemies. We gon' keep going. Knowing that it's me, I'm a cheat code.
You don't even know who you are. How do you know anybody?
Anything. Look at me go. Less of me goes, but a lot more business. Up, down, left, right.
Why doesn't he just come out and tell the truth? You know, really don't. That his old boy, why does his old boy come out shaking, rocking, rolling, shaking, teeth chattering, boy, hair sticking up, shaking, freaked all the hell out, shaking, after being out with Brandis that day, right? Hair sticking up. Why doesn't he just tell the truth about, you know, being out with Brandis? His boy said someone was wet on the pillow next to the driver's side door after they went swimming, meaning she was all wet against that driver's side door through Walgreens, right? And they went and through Sonics, and then, you know, to the grocery store, and all the way to his house. And he had to look at it. He had to look at it. And that's what, you know, and that's what threw him in to overmode, right? Having to look at what I, you know, and what is my opinion, and what in my opinion was an unlived little girl that Candace was able to talk him into going into that water and doing a very dirty, sinister deed.
Like I don't need the help.
Right.
It's the pride talking. I'm just scared to trust someone else. It always falls on me.
And I think when it got back to Hunter's house, that's where Summer was packed in, cleaned up, and then staged up on the roof. And if the truth ever comes out, Andrew, in my opinion, your boy's going to prison for a long time.
You just walk around the subject,
your boy ain't going to be getting out.
Feeling lost without it. You say I crave your touch, but
So
I'll see her as
best
hell. It's not my
for
place
you
to judge.
to leave PG alone. Could be staged for information. Right, Andrew?
Feels like I'm going deeper down the trench of the unknown. Everything that once had meaning lost its touch and I've grown cold. I do better on my own. The only place I call my home. I don't give myself a chance, yet I embrace being alone. Something doesn't feel quite right to me. Embracing my own privacy. Act surprised when no one's in my life. Like what a sight to
And
see.
who your
When
boy's
I'm the one
hanging
who
with.
pushed away. Called it
All right,
civil
Andrew.
rivalry. Placed it in the irony.
Why don't you
Run
go
deeper
do that
than
with
the eyes can see, but you ain't been no brother to me. Say you always keep it 100, changing subjects whenever I disagree. Tried to sweep that shit right under my feet. It ain't nothing, you'll stay front till you cover the crease. Damn.
And you know what the truth is.
I ain't say shit cause the second
I can't
let
believe it.
'em out, they'll be staying. Hear you putting words in my mouth. Watch your language, bitch, I know for certain the worst was in all your statements. Cause I'm fooling with my state of mind. I suggest you try and fuck with me.
Like that, and I'm going to tell you what. I'd give him up to law enforcement. Take him with boy was to do something where he's wrong so that he's never hurt anyone else. I don't want somebody that sinister around me, because you could do something like that to a child, you could do it to anyone. I don't need that locked away, so I don't have to worry about it, right? I have my boy locked away, so I don't have to worry about it, right? Look at what happened to Allison after Hunter robbed her, right, Andrew? Look at what happened to Allison after Hunter robbed her, right, Andrew? Look at what happened to Allison after your boy robbed and now she ain't around to tell nothing. You think she told him she's gonna go to the law and let the law know everything, and now she ain't around to tell nothing, like Leslie? I think, I'm going to went over to, and next thing I know, Leslie ain't no longer around law enforcement and tell them whatever it was. I'm going to. And next thing I know, Leslie ain't no longer around. Then your boy robs his mom, and I'm sure she gave him the same line that Leslie did. Your boy's so good. Well, she ain't around now either, is she? Won't you let your boy come live with you for a while, Andrew? Your boy's so good. Won't you let him come live with you? Let's see how long you're around. Right? He's just in a back.
In search of somewhere safe and quiet. If only you could hear the fucking things inside. Like paint pictures, only missing what you've lost. Giving everything you have, but it's just short of the cost. Diabolical, straightens up your mental, makes you strong. And the fucking trust issues. Hate to say I proved you wrong. You can run and scream and hide away. There's no escaping night. You'll never see it.
Your boy does. Your boy means a lot. Because, I think your boy's holding a dirty, dark, deep secret. Your boy needs to be told. It needs to be told. The truth shall set you free, Hunter. The truth shall set you free. Nightmares stop when you tell the truth.
Not allowed around children, period.
Now, Brandis allegedly Grandis isn't allowed around children. Allegedly, she's not. But law enforcement didn't make Grandis leave. Grandis didn't leave till after Child Protective Services took the boys. She had a girlfriend up there. Grandis had a girlfriend up there helping her pack and load everything, and she stayed there all the way up until the boys were took. Grandis didn't come flying off the hill throwing up dust until after the CPS took the boys. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And they didn't take the boys for a New York minute, right? They didn't take the boys for a few weeks. So, you know, Grandis had herself right up there until that one day. Then she left. Then she got out of Dodge. Once those boys got gone, Grandis got out of Dodge because she thought arrests were coming. She thought they removed the boys and arrests were coming. You know, and she didn't want to be there when they did. So she took out of there. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. And, you know, and Andy Bernard, he got out of there too. He went flying out of there right behind Grandis. They both left it, but, you know, that shows me Fred don't know what he's talking about. This guy lived right down the road, and he don't know what the hell he's talking about. Well, there was no children. They took the boys, and Summer was missing. There was no children. So,
she left and then come back after the boys were took.
Right. He took off. Actually, Grandis took the hell out of there after the boys.
I just couldn't care less.
And Andy Bernard, I don't know which one of them got out of there the fastest because Grandis went first. Andy went right after Grandis. Jody Sue went right after Andy. That's the funny thing is,
it truly makes me laugh how often I don't think about you. The lack of weight in your words have a ring about them. No matter the moment, we won't sing around you. And when the curtains close, we'll gladly be without you. Mean it without the sentiment, and that's a fact. Better clean up your act. You're only holding me back. That results in cutting off the dead weight and the fat. Why take 10 steps forward just for 32 back? Say you want some slack, but you refuse to come and take it from me. Get the baby bitches pacifier and change his fucking diaper. Shit it yourself, and there's no one to help you wifey. Guarantee I'll never ever give a fuck if you don't like me. Shit, I stay 10 toes and never let go. See my growth, but never you change. And I'm a Venmo. I don't attend any parties, let alone read your death note.
And you heard him. Let's go back and hear this. The evening before. See, they found Cotton in the morning. He had been passed away the whole night. He had passed away the evening before, the night before, when he, you know, when he was with Fred. That's when he got passed away. Not that morning. He didn't, you know, no. They found him the next morning. And you just heard Fred say, yes, he was at my house that evening that he came up, you know, unalived. He's at my house. Yes. And but you know, then he tries to lie to everybody and say, no, you know, he was there a couple weeks before. He was there, you know. He's trying to separate himself from Cotton. And he also lied to everybody on Ziggy's just a couple weeks ago. He lied to everybody over there on Ziggy's. Put a one in the chat if you remember him lying and saying that Cotton had no money. That Cotton Simpson had no money. Because that's what he said on Ziggy's. He said that Cotton was at his place, but he didn't have no money. That, you know, he didn't have anything. Right? Yeah, he said that. I personally heard it with my own ears. If I don't hear it with my own ears, I won't say it. But I heard it with my own ears. Yes, I did. And it was said. It absolutely was said. You know, he said he didn't have no money and all of this. Well, I'm going to tell you something right here. Listen to this. Listen to this. But let's go back and listen to this little bit here, too.
Yeah.
The day before he ended up dead, or the very day?
Away we go,
The day
bringing
before.
everything I know.
He was at your home.
6 feet deep, let's just
But he
hope you
wasn't.
The evening before.
The evening before, right there. The evening before, that's when he ended up on alive. Ended up dead, or the very day?
The day before.
He was at your home. But he wasn't.
The evening before.
The evening before. The evening before. Right there, you guys. Boom. There you go. Bingo. Bingo. Now listen to this. He wasn't
Not the day that they found him. No, I didn't know nothing about they even finding him. And Marvin Simpson
Marvin Simpson came running to Fred's house because Marvin and Fred's the ones that followed Cotton the evening before. They're the ones that followed him the evening before. And as soon as Marvin, you know, heard word that they found Cotton, he went and ran to tell Fred, oh, they found him, they found him. You know how it is. You know how it is when you commit a dirty dog deed, right? When you do something really evil and you wait to hear, you know, about it through the grapevine. I mean, you're not going to go looking for it. You're going to stay where you're at and wait for it all to come to you, right? Because you ain't no damn idiot.
told me that they had found him. That he told me that Betty Joe Simpson had called him and told him that they had found cotton and stuff, and that he had a big gash in the back of his head and stuff. That's why they give me a polygraph, because they hadn't released that he had a gash in the back of his head. And the only reason I knew is because she had told Marvin, and Marvin.
Right. The only reason he knew. No, she wouldn't have known because law enforcement didn't let him out. They didn't tell nobody. That's why Fred had to take that lie detector test, because they told no one about that gash in Cotton's head like that. They didn't tell anybody. And that, you know, law enforcement took him off. They kept everything on the low. They didn't say nothing about it. And, you know, and him and Marvin, they knew. Marvin's like, somebody else told me, and Fred's like, somebody, and Marvin told me, you know. No. I'm going to tell you. In my opinion, they knew because they did it. They did it, and he couldn't even pass the polygraph. Fred did not pass that polygraph. It came out freaking inconclusive, meaning that, you know, you pretty much motherfucking found it, right? Pretty much found it. You were lying. You were lying. You was trying to ride the safe line. You was trying to ride that safe line.
And they told me. And that's the only reason I know, you know.
Right. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out, find out exactly when Cotton passed away.
Best I remember, it was, I want to say February the 14th or something. Side of 2023, maybe?
Yeah. February. He knew the exact date, baby. He knew the exact date. And I'm going to tell you, when people know, like I said, if I know the exact date someone passes away or somebody's born, you know, that is a significant day to me. It means something. It means something. Right? When you know exactly when someone is born or passes away, you know, or and all of this, you know, it's usually a child of yours, a parent of yours, somebody really close to you, somebody very close to you is, you know, how you remember. Unless it's like, you know, on Christmas or, you know, a special holiday like the 4th of July, or, you know, and you might know the 4th of July, you may know, you know, Christmas, but you ain't going to really remember what year if they weren't super significant to you, right? You're not going to remember the year. You might remember, you know, a tragedy on the 4th or tragedy on, something happened, you know, and it was a big buzz. And it's a holiday, it might stick with you because, the holiday is like, what's stuck in your head, not the person, but the holiday, and when it all went down. But other than that, if it ain't someone, a loved one or something, if it's significant to you and you remember, exactly what day it is and what year it is, you probably got something to do with it. That's just my opinion. Because Cotton ain't no family to Fred, and he wasn't really, they called him a buckaboo, so he wasn't really a friend to him, so what would be so significant that would make Fred remember the exact day, the damn day and time and everything, what would be so significant about that for Fred? Because he got that date right on the money, baby. And I'm going to tell you, and that's the one thing law enforcement knows. They know if you remember something like this, in detail, and this person ain't that close to you, you a suspect and a half now, right? You're a suspect and a damn half. I'd rather learn from a lesson than get burned second guessing how the fuck you starting with the plan to quit. You're not making any sense.
Seems like that's what I remember somebody saying. I'm not for sure.
What the fuck you even asking for my help when you refuse to play the hand you were dealt? Give me saying now.
February the 14th, 23. Exactly on the money. Exactly. He knew. You hear him say, I think, he knew he screwed up. He knew he screwed up when that date came out of his mouth. He's like, oh shit. I shouldn't have known that. Right? I shouldn't have known that. And he was trying to wiggle like the worm and get out of it. Nah, you done screwed up, buddy. Exactly.
But see, Cotton used to work at Warriors Path up there as a maintenance before, a few years before Summer went missing and stuff.
And he came out on disability.
Yeah.
And he was getting quite a bit of money. He had been in jail for 6 months, and that money had piled up in his bank account, which would have come to around $18,000. Is what he would have had in his bank. He was at your house, and then the following morning he was found dead.
The next day, sometime the next day, I don't know what time. They said some hikers had found him or something.
Right, early in the morning. Early in the morning.
You've never been asked. Do it that week, cause I'm better than that. Check the receipts and better than my raps. You see, but show
he said he was up there.
Remember that. Coming to stay for the benefit.
Could you left your house and stopped by the well house?
No, because
change me for your preference.
me and Marvin actually had borrowed him and stuff to top the mountain, and we turned around that top the mountain at the Mountain View at the stop sign because it went.
Me and Marvin followed him. We followed him up the Mountain View, and then he says we turned around. I don't believe they turned around. I do not believe they turned around. He said that him and that other guy, the same Marvin, they come running to tell him that, oh, constant found. Fred knew he was going to get found, right? Fred knew he was going to get found. Just win. They were waiting. They were both sitting, on, on that stoop waiting to hear the news, right? They were both sitting, wondering when somebody's going to, when this is coming out. And, as soon as the one heard the news, because he heard the news because he's freaking Cotton's own family, his own family hanging with Fred, doing dirty stuff with Fred. But family will do that. Family, let me tell you, family will destroy you. They will destroy you, baby. You think your family's got your back, you're wrong. You're wrong. You might have their back, but you better open your eyes and get to know your family. You better put them to the test. You better put them to the test, because I'm gonna tell you what. Just because you got your family's back, don't mean they got yours. Your family can be evil as hell. They could be evil as hell. They could be your worst enemy, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it because you don't suspect it. You don't suspect your family to do you so wrong, so horrible, so ugly, so sinister. You don't expect it. You know, these are people you love, people you care about, people that you watched over and you try to keep safe. You know, you try to keep them safe. I mean, they ain't always gonna like you. They ain't always gonna like you for trying to keep them safe. But you do it because you love them, because you care about them, and you think that you think that they care about you. But I'm gonna tell you now, they don't. They don't. I'm gonna tell you, family can be very evil. They can be very ugly, very hateful. And I'm gonna tell you, this guy that's with, was with Fred, was actually related to Cotton. But he's riding with Fred. And they followed poor Cotton up there, where he meets his demise, right? Where he met his demise.
He was at my house, he was wanting to buy a boat and stuff, and I was in partners with somebody else on the boat, and I told him I couldn't really price it right then. I had to get with them and stuff to take it and find out what they wanted for their part, And then he got to talking about he was worried about having money and stuff on him. And
oh, Fred, we thought he didn't have no money. We thought Cotton didn't have no money, Fred. Yeah, Cotton had money right there. You said he did. And you give some bullshit boat story. Dude, you ain't gonna be buying no boat. You couldn't even buy what it took to keep your trailer standing up. Right? The walls of your mother freaking trailer was caving in. Your whole trailer was just like coming in on you. You couldn't even fix your freaking trailer. You're out scrapping. You're out scrapping cars just to get some cigarettes and and enough food to keep you going for another day. What are you talking about? You had no money for a boat. Right? He's up there piss freaking poor. Talking about buying a boat, that is BS. That is BS. That is a made up lie right there. Ain't none of them ever gonna buy no boat. These mother freakers weren't mother freaking fishermen. They were substance abuse users, distributors, right? Fred was down there. Fred was down there, not only manufacturing, not only making this stuff and distributing it, but he was using up all the profit, right? He was using up the profit. Him and his girlfriend. And I'm not going to say that's my opinion, because I got on recording, Laura's plainly stating that she had to stand outside the bathroom for like 2 to 3 hours waiting for her, for her share of it after Fred got done taking all he wanted and giving her the scraps. Yeah, I got that on record.
I don't know why he was talking about worried about getting robbed or whatever, but me and Marvin actually followed him to we was trying to make sure he made it home or whatever, but once he got to the top of the mountain, instead of turning left to go to his house, he turns right and goes towards Betty Joe's, because Betty Joe lives on that same, right past where the cemetery and stuff, where they found his vehicle.
Right. They found his vehicle right at the cemetery. Right there at the cemetery. Right? And it was perfectly parked. And I'm going to tell you, they're trying to say that, the vehicle wasn't running. That car was parked. When a vehicle stalls on you, you ain't going to get it. You ain't going to get it parked that damn good as that vehicle was parked up there next to the cemetery. No way. No way you're going to be able to park it like that. So that is pure BS. Pure BS. And I'm going to tell you, all the cigarettes he had inside of his vehicle in the seat that was seen by a couple of people earlier that day, before Cotton went to Fred's, they seen a ton of cigarettes that Cotton had by. He said he was making up time. They said, why you got all them cigarettes? He said, because I'm making up time, because he'd been in jail for so long. And he was, and he thought he was laughing. He was in a really good mood. He just got out. He was getting, getting plenty of smokes. He was, going to go see his good old buddy Fred. He had, finally had some money in his pocket. Now, people he thought he could trust, he found he couldn't trust at all, right? He should have knew better. He should have knew better. Because I'm going to tell you something. These are the kind of people right there, they'd unlive you for $1. These are people that would unlive you for $1, because $1 is a lot of money to these people. Just imagine if you had, just imagine if you had a freaking knot that would choke a horse, right? Just imagine if you had that in your pocket. Because that is exactly what Cotton was packing, right?
All right, Miss Blackwell.
And I thought, well, maybe he's going over there or something to hang out, because he does go over there and hang out with them a lot.
I'ma talk my shit, then I'm gone.
So you didn't follow him no further. You guys just went back to the house. And the next morning he was found over there dead.
Yeah, I didn't find out till like 4 o'clock or something the next day. I think it was around 4 o'clock that Marvin had come and mentioned it.
Didn't you feel that he was trying really hard to convince me that he didn't know nothing about it? That he has no ideas until Marvin comes and tells him all about it? I'm gonna tell you, innocent people don't try that hard to convince you that they didn't do something. Because they don't have to. They don't have to. Right? They don't need to do that. Yeah, I just wanted to put this back in your minds fresh. Because you heard him say Cotton had money. That's why they was following him. Right? That's why they was following him. But yet he was telling everybody, change the story like he has on the Summer Wells case, right? Like he has on Summer's case. Change the motherfucking story up a whole lot of different times. A whole lot of different times. First, Cotton's at his place but no money. Then Cotton wasn't at his place. He was there a few weeks before. Then, and he still was broke. And then he comes back and he was around my place. Oh, I don't remember the day before, maybe a couple of days before, I don't remember. But he was broke. And then, but finally we got the truth out of it, right? Finally we got the truth out of it. He admits, yeah, Cotton was there. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, this is what I was talking to Fred about behind the scenes, you guys. So you go right ahead and you post your BS, Ziggy. Post your BS, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something, the difference between me and you. I'm a professional and you're not. There you go. Right? I'm a professional, you ain't. I don't get involved with suspects. I get the information needed for the victims out of these suspects. Unlike you. You can't get nothing out of them because you're trying too hard to be in with them. That's a problem. That's a problem. Right? But these are the conversations.
PG's a liar.
Like 40 hours of conversations about different people on Ben Hill Road. Tons and tons of texts about different things and people and parts of the case and so forth and so on. You got to give a little to get a lot, right? Yeah, what I'm saying is you got to, you know, talk about what you know about the case a little bit in order to get them talking and tell you a whole lot of stuff. And then you feed them a little bit of something, and then they'll give you a whole lot, right? And that is how you figure out exactly what really happened and went down in these kids' cases. You gotta know what the hell you're doing. And I'm gonna tell you now, they ain't nothing on Ben Hill Road. You know, I don't know. I'd have to go see an eye doctor. I would have to go see an eye doctor if anything.
High 420.
Anything. Actually, in all of Rogersville, Tennessee. If anything in the whole Rogersville, Tennessee was to, you know, any of it was able to turn PG's head, I'd have to go see an eye doctor. Right? Because I know something's wrong with my eyes. If anything down there is looking good to me, there's definitely something wrong with my eyes.
Bitch, we knew that years ago.
And if my eyes turn out to be okay, then I'm going to take the next step. Right?
Cut them out. You can cut them out.
I'm going to take the next step. It's going to cost about $200 an hour. But I figure I need the help. It's worth it. Right? There you go.
Hit 'em up when I'm down, you ain't see me at it all. It was hush, it was silent, I'm doing what I want. We've been stuck in the private, don't
It's
think
like,
they've had
you know,
enough. It was hush, it was
ring,
silent,
ring.
product of environment.
Hey, Doc, I need to come in laying on the sofa for a while. I got to talk to you.
Walk a single mile, you're all parked, nobody smile. I've been flying for a while, waiting for the fucking day. You slip up and run your mouth. Feeling the stress, you don't like pressure. I only thrive when I'm making my head.
You're going to have to screw my head back on, right?
Right.
I had to get my head screwed back on right. Get a good swift kick in the pants. I had to get that steel-toe boot in my own pants, get my brain working again. But you heard it for yourself. I still think Donnie had a hand in his mom's death and Candace's sister too.
Bitch, really? Every time you get mad about something, huh, bro? I got you.
Arkansas. They were still in Arkansas because Candace had a assault charge on her at that time. She had an assault charge after.
Sweetie, are we going to do this again?
And they put assault charges against Candace over there in Arkansas.
Bitch, I'm fine with no recipe. Did it on my own, by my lonesome, searching for a better me. That's an endless conversation for growth. Yeah, I said it, so I meant it. I've been changing the most.
I think I got the proof as well, but
well, you always do the most, motherfucker. Switching up, I won't let you get too close, motherfucker. Giving up too damn much, like we broke one another, rock the boat, and I'm jumping on my float with the current. I've been rising with the
that they didn't haul it to Wisconsin like right now. You know they're in Tennessee, but also
it don't faze me. I'm short-sighted. Yeah, I know I'm crazy. I don't mind it. I never asked for your permission. Not a single fuck was given. Regardless, you gon' run your mouth. There's none your fucking
You ain't miss much.
business. When it comes to picking sides, your bitch ass always switches. Till I can't say I'm sorry.
right? I mean, and I heard allegedly Grandma gave law enforcement the wrong plate number to Rose's car. Why would you do that? She gave him the wrong plate number. She also was driving past the car every day on her way to work and back. How could you be riding past your daughter's car and she's missing? How could you be riding past her car for mother freaking weeks and not spotted? You know, and that's kind of suspicious within itself, right? It's kind of suspicious within itself. So I don't know. I ain't sure what happened to Rose. I mean, as far as I know, Granny could have been having some kind of affair with Rose's husband. I mean, look what happened to, look what happened to Allison, right? Look what happened to Allie. She brought her man up there on 110, and next thing you know, you got Candace and Grandis, both of them, trying to get some of that. So it is what it is. Look at the date of the police report and the child's actual birthday. Rose goes missing approximately 30 days before the first Wells child is born. Yeah. And they were pretty dangerous during that time too, because when Candace was carrying that oldest boy, there was a lady in Arkansas that opened her door, let Don and Candace move in because Candace was in the family way, and she felt sorry for him, and they trapped this old lady at her refrigerator.
Sure.
Don and Candace both trapped her in the kitchen at her refrigerator. And she felt, I guess she was fearing for her life, her safety. And, she pushed Candace out of the way to try to get free of these guys. Luckily, there was another woman inside the house that did get out and went and got help. And law enforcement came. But Candace, tried to act like this woman assaulted her and stuff. And anyway, the woman ended up going, they took her downtown on old charges, not that charge, but something else. And Don and Candace tried to take over her house, tried to take over her place, and was going to squat in there. They was going to squat in there, like not let her come back in her own home. They was going to squat there. And the landlord had to get law enforcement come in and have them remove Don and Candace out of there, because they had no right to be in there to begin with. And and they moved on. They moved on with themselves. But they were very dangerous. These were two very dangerous people.
Ain't no for discussion now. I don't ever wanna run away.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Brenda. Yes, he did. And I tell you something about, he just barely married her. He wasn't even married to Rose a few months. And they had 2 kids. And it seemed like that this guy married her just to get custody of the kids, right? And he tried to divorce her and get custody of the kids, but the court wouldn't let him. The court, mommy's babies, right? It was so he went back to her. He dropped the divorce, went back to her, and then she came up, disappeared. So, that's suspicious too. And this guy didn't ever get remarried. He hasn't ever gotten remarried. He's just living in a house with 2 little girls, which that seemed like what he was after from day one, right? And he's been living with them ever since. And he really doesn't show no interest in outside women, anybody else, which I find very strange.
Yeah, steady bono, FOMO in the shit, baby, you understood the risk, but we took another.
Candace won't speak of her brother-in-law. She's afraid of him, in my opinion, and what I heard. And I don't think Donnie Candace is afraid of anyone, to be honest with you. Donnie Candace is full of crap. That's just my opinion, Brenda. I don't think that Candace they try to say they were afraid of Fred and Fred, you know, and no. Candace and Don Wells are not afraid of. I'm gonna tell you, Candace and Don Wells is way more evil. They're way more evil than the average people. Trust and believe me. I mean, I don't think anybody would want to know how dark and evil them two people are. That's my opinion.
Still stuck in my head. Lately it feels like I'm off of the meds. Even my shrink thinks I'm better off dead. So come when I'm gone and I'll pop it instead. I'm lost the thoughts in my head. Lately it seems like I leave them all red. On the same team, not a minimum threat. But I guess there are things that are better unsaid.
Mary Hartman, you could be very possibly right, sweetie. Watched your cooking show the other day, and I so enjoyed watching. Oh yeah, I love Mary. I love Mary. She was having a contest. You can win a quilt, and I put it out. I put it out on Facebook. I was hoping a lot of people go over and you know try to win. Try to win the quilt. She's got some beautiful quilts that she gives away every so often, and she sells. She sells them too. Beautiful quilts, and I'm gonna tell you, you could really learn how to make some really fine food watching Mary's channel. She's good. She's a good cook. Absolutely. Oh, you're a most welcome, girlfriend. And I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you for having such a beautiful channel where PG gets a lot of ideals. I get a lot of ideals from Mary's channel for different meals and you know, little things to put together for holidays and stuff like that. I tell you, just if you're going to a cookout, you know, last minute, you know, you get a invite to a cookout or something, and you're scrambling. What do I do? Click on Mary's videos, because I'm going to tell you, she will give you a great idea of something to whip up really quick, really fast, and everybody will be raving over it, right? When you get it there and you put it on the table, there'll be people coming up to you, you know, like, oh, that's so good, you gotta give me the recipe, and
what can I expect when I can escape my buzz? I don't wanna hear about your fucked up life. Yeah, we know. Handle your shit and you might feel right. Who knows? I've been counting up the reasons every day and night.
Really?
And this shows you couldn't fucking last one day, and that's alright. Cause I'm on my own. Yeah, not much change, still just me and my one way. Upgraded to a dime from chump change. Mine's far from mundane. We'll put it in the past.
She's a kindred spirit, and she's a righteous spirit.
How about it?
She believes in, you know, she believes in law, she believes in justice, she believes in God, she believes in doing all things right, and you know, and I'll tell you, that's a hard find in this world today, so, absolutely. Make sure you guys check out her.
And I don't see you looking out for me, but you're always in need. Trying to waste your breath on apologies.
This next living place will be, it might be. I'm going to make Philly cheesesteak pasta tomorrow. Oh, girlfriend, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to try to be there for that. Tomorrow Sunday, I'm going to try to be there for that. I don't have to work tomorrow. On a happy dance, right? Gotta be with me.
Bitch, you act like I don't know what I'm doing.
It's not like this. It's not like this stuff right here. This is BS and nothing but lies and a disgrace to the true crime community, a disgrace to the missing children. And like I said, you know, out of pure respect for the missing children, I won't click into these channels.
Seen a lot of people leave when they said they'd hold it down. Fuck around, here you talking shit. Who's complaining now?
There's so many channels working way too hard, including us,
shot. Yeah. Line up your shot, make it count. Seen a lot of people leave when they said they'd hold it down. Didn't come this
So I
far
click
just
into
for
the
you to
channels
take
I
me
know, and I
out.
know are righteous and
Take
doing
it
all
out
they
of
can
me, everything
righteously for the
I
missing
die for.
children.
Placing my belief in anything I'm striving for. Pay no mind to your demons, I don't feel I should repeat it. Got no time to hear you needing more. Not making sense, just saw you came and went. I refuse to give my life to someone taking advantage. If I said it, then I meant. But you probably could have guessed. If you still don't get the picture, I'll just paint that shit again. Yeah, could be worse.
I made it.
I probably struck a nerve.
We made
Won't
it
be
because
giving
it's
any
here on
more
my
than
channel.
you show me
We
you
made it.
deserve. I'm a man of my word.
And you know,
Won't assassinate my character. Broken for you,
it's
child.
full of
I'm
it's
on
full of
another
truth.
barrier.
It's full of truth,
Line up your
right?
shot, make
But
it count.
I wanted
Seen
to
a
just
lot
show
of
you
people leave
how
when they
AI
said
can
they'd hold it
also,
down.
you know,
Fuck around,
add
yeah,
their
you talking
own
shit.
own
Who's
little
complacent
stuff in
now?
there,
Didn't
as
come
you know,
this far
as
just
well.
so you could take me out.
Hill's trailer leaned against the Tennessee hills like a rusted out garbage can. Its rusted siding sagged in patches, nails protruding like broken teeth. The smell of mildew rotting wood and something sour, almost metallic, clung to the air, seeping into anyone foolish enough to come close.
See, that's all true. All right, that's all true, you guys. That's all true.
Fred had lived there for as long as anyone could remember, on a stretch of road where the asphalt gave way to dirt and the woods whispered secrets through the cracks in the trees. Inside, the trailer was a world of contradictions. The floor sagged under a patchwork of old rugs and cardboard. The kitchen was cluttered with broken appliances and cans that had long since passed their expiration date. And then there were the pans. People whispered about the pans. They were stiff. And Fred knew them. They stood upright on their own corners like silent sounds. Some said it was a trick shot. Others said it was something else. Fred never explained, and most avoided asking. The bathroom was a rain barrel tucked behind the trailer. There was a toilet paper, and rumor had it he used corn cobs, or sometimes nothing at all. There was a certain unsettling permanence to the trailer, as if it were alive, watching, waiting. Visitors, when they were brave enough to come, often felt eyes on them even when no one was there. Fred's life, though outwardly mundane, had a dark complexity. He had a girlfriend, Laura, a wiry woman with eyes that flickered with suspicion and fear, and a history of living in Fred's orbit that made some neighbors uneasy. Both were considered suspects in the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells, a mystery that still haunted the county. June 15, 2021 started like any other day for Fred. He claimed that he and Laura had been hauling cars to a crusher, a routine errand, before stopping at the store for needed items and returning home around 7:30 p.m. When they arrived, everyone was searching for Summer. Their initial statements put them far from the scene of her disappearance. For a moment, the timeline seemed clean, but the story unraveled. Fred and Laura began changing their narrative. In their second version, Fred claimed he saw Donald Wells coming off 110 Ben Hill Road around 3 p.m. as they left for the crusher. But then the crusher was closed. They returned home after grabbing something to eat. Simple mistakes, perhaps. But by the third story, the contradictions were glaring. Fred's cousin, Andy Bernard, allegedly blocked the driveway while suspicious vehicles came and went. A man in one, a woman in another. Fred said he was forced to leave to help a man with a broken-down motorcycle. He He returned, loaded it onto his trailer, gave the man a lift to a gas station, and claimed he never saw him again. Later, he changed it. It wasn't just one motorcycle, there were two. And he did know the man. Each retelling
Do you guys remember that? Do you remember he said that he went back to the place, got his trailer, and gave this guy a lift? He didn't know him, and dropped him at a station, and he hasn't ever seen him again. And then the next time he's talking, he's like, well, it wasn't one motorcycle, it was two motorcycles, and yeah, I did know the guy. And then he was telling about it being this one dude. Oh my God. Right? It's Fred, man. I'm telling you.
Investigators were left questioning whether Fred knew what actually happened or if he was deliberately obfuscating the timeline. Fred's reputation was as unsettling as his shifting alibis. He was a known substance abuser and distributor, prone to violence and intimidation. Stories circulated about lost travelers' parents and children stopping in front of his trailer and meeting his wrath. Dirt bikers passing too close to his property found themselves threatened, sometimes physically assaulted. The fear surrounding him was tangible. Some speculated it stemmed from his upbringing. Fred claimed his mother was a witch, deeply involved in rituals and spells. She possessed a talking stick, he said, which she would place under his father's chair to silence him until she allowed him to speak. Neighbors whispered that children had been kept in the basement and that Fred was always cleaning up after his mother's mess. He insisted he had lived in terror, fleeing early in the morning and returning only after dark to avoid her. Whether he was victim or accomplice remained uncertain. The talking stick itself was a symbol of mystery. In indigenous culture, a talking stick allows the holder to speak while others remain silent, a tool of fairness and authority. But Fred's stories twisted it into something darker, something oppressive, a manifestation of control and fear. Whether it was real or imagined, it haunted his narrative. As night fell on Ben Hill Road, the trailer seemed to close in on itself, the shadows growing long and uneasy. On June 15th, a witness later claimed to have seen Fred trying to leave the road around 8:39 p.m., long after his state had returned home. Law enforcement had instructed him to turn back, citing the unusual circumstances of the search. Whatever urgency Fred claimed, no one knew. The questions lingered. What was so important? What had he seen? Fred Hill's world was one of contradictions, but also of darkness. Felt alive. His pants still stood in corners, upright, watching. The trailer groaned under the weight of years and secrets. The forest outside whispered rumors and warnings as if the trees themselves were keeping their own vigil. And somewhere in the shadows, the mystery of summer moon Utah wells remained unsolved. As days passed, investigators found that Fred's story was layered with deception, perhaps deliberate, perhaps born of a fractured mind. Every witness had a different recollection of his movements. Motorcycles, the vehicles blocking the driveway, the interactions with Andy Bernard, even Laura's accounts, all conflicted. No one could establish a concrete timeline. Neighbors spoke of Fred's unusual behavior long before the disappearance. There were stories of screams in the night, of objects moving on their own in his trailer, of strange rituals he performed in the yard. Some said he muttered to himself about things unseen. while others swore they saw him speaking to shadows. The fear he evoked was both real and instinctive, a primal response to a man whose life seemed to exist outside the boundaries of norms. Fred himself seemed to oscillate between moments of charm and menace. One moment he would laugh.
Southern angel, wish I could take you away from your pain. I fucking need you. I just hear you saying
And his girlfriend Laura was off.
me through phases. You cut me open, let me bleed. I won't say I can't take it. Don't wanna trade places. I'm patient. No vacancy waiting. Call it lack of trust and it's
The later
blatant. Still you
Fred
want my
story.
heart out. Bet
Some
naked,
believed
trying to
it
get
was
call
merely
back as
a
I said
childhood
pass.
memory
There's a reason I
twisted
call
by
it
trauma.
mismatch. I don't need you
Others-
the way you need me. You can pick and choose optimistic views since I wear it out of my sleeve. That doesn't mean I'm trying to make peace. Wish I didn't, but I still remember, and that means there's no we. I keep wasting away. Wish I could see you.
Whether it existed in reality or only in his recollections, it became a point of fascination and
fucking
fear.
need you.
Investigators pieced together the fragments of June 15th with increasing frustration. Fred and Laura's accounts were inconsistent. Witnesses placed Fred at different locations at overlapping times.
Need you. I just hear you saying you were down for me always. Guess if it's convenient, then we'd all stay. All say you can't have it
Whereabouts
both
remained
ways.
murky. His intentions
Best be staying in your own lane. Yes, where I'm on a roll, taking shots like I never miss. Staying in the moment, those thoughts, man, they don't exist.
Supposed witchcraft,
It's been a long
children.
run. No time to reminisce, said and all done, all done. I keep wasting away. Wish I could see you.
Victim
No
and
point in
accomplice.
being a face in my brain. I fucking need you. I just hear you say my name.
Escape that environment. The aggression, the manipulation, the fascination with control all hinted at a continuity of influence. Substance abuse, threats, and violent outbursts seemed to echo the chaos of his upbringing. Some speculated that the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells might have intersected with these tendencies in ways the public could not fully understand. The trailer on Ben Hill Road, the talking stick, the standing pants, the rain barrel bathroom, all became symbols in the local lore, markers of a man who existed at the intersection of fear, mystery, and unresolved trauma. Every passing day without answers deepened the sense of dread. The final chilling
Yeah, don't fuck around with make believe. Oh, you gon' see. Don't stay down with my enemies. They're gonna rest in peace. Can't blame when the
Enforcement
motherfucker
had
envy
intercepted
me. I know
the
damn
reason
well they're
for his
gonna
hurt-
try to bring that stress on me. There's no stress in me. I hope you rest in peace. I'm coming down on my enemies. You all can envy me. Stressing me.
his disappearance.
Don't need you to believe.
Fred Hill remained-
Coming down on my enemies. I hope you rest in peace. This bitch still trying to fucking make me cold. Don't wanna see me grow. He don't think I know this. She just need to focus. You don't wanna see me
Child
go.
shaped by
Trust me, I
fear and
get it. I know. I'd rather be
others,
all on my
he
own.
was something
Instead of you
dark,
blowing my phone.
a figure
Don't bitch and just
whose
leave me
motives and
alone. I
actions
won't give a shit
defied
for a hypocrite.
understanding.
You can never bring me down, bitch. I'm a
And to the
hypocrite. I'm a
shadows
limitless.
that
Moving
lingered in
different.
the
Rock 'em
hills,
and
in
feeling
the
it.
woods,
Try to
and
fucking tell me
in
what
the
the real
corners
shit
of the
is.
trailer,
You don't know who you're
Fred
dealing
Hill
with.
was
We never
both
had the same
witness
feeling,
and
bitch. You better take notes and start listening. Yeah, it's
story
better off as the
was ended,
recipient. Damn, stepping on the
yet to be
motherfucking gas, you won't pass
The
me.
truth of June 15,
Damn, every day chillin' in the back
2021,
seat.
lay
Goddamn,
buried
I've
under
been getting
layers of
nasty.
lies,
Oh man, I've been
fear,
going max
and
speed. Taking no
speculation.
shine, come at me.
The
Won't
talking
teach you this
stick,
shit in
whether
class.
real
You
or
rap baby,
imagined,
just make a fucking
remained
ass
wrong.
cheek around with make
Summer Moon
believe.
Utah Wells
Oh, you gon'
remained
see,
missing,
don't stay
and
down
Fred
with
Hill,
my
standing at the
enemies.
center
They're
of it
gonna
all,
rest in peace.
remained a
Can't
man whose
blame when
story
the
was far from
motherfucker
complete.
envy me.
A a living testament to the horror and mystery that can exist just beyond the edge of ordinary life. Ben Hill Road, in its quiet, unassuming way, held its secret. The trailer, the trees, the dirt road, they remembered. And Fred Hill, for all his contradictions, remained the gatekeeper of those memories. A man entwined with the darkness in ways no one could fully unravel. Because some truths are never fully revealed. Some shadows never live. And some mysteries, like the disappearance of some young remain.
I'll try not to intervene like the court of evergreen. Miles and shoes you never seen. I wanna see fucking bloody on the street, so I can keep on walking. Gotta keep on going throughout my day. Not a care to send your way. It'd be nice to see you in your place. How did they put a bruise on my face? Really can't blame my
Fred got his free fan. Right? He got his free friend. He got his free fan.
Can't blame when the motherfucker envy me. I know damn well they're gonna try to bring that stress on me. There's no stress in me. I hope you rest in peace. I'm coming down on my enemies.
Pam came up the other night. Pam came up the other night while Fred was watching and let him know how to get a free fan, and now he's got one. Right? Oh my goodness. Anyway, right? But yeah, I'm telling you, you know, a lot of people start Christmas early, right? Like, we started in July. We start watching Christmas shows in July. Christmas in July. You know, a lot of us started early. I love Christmas. I ain't ashamed to say it. I love it. But I'm gonna tell you, these people, they be starting Halloween, right? They be starting Halloween. They start Halloween. Actually, to be honest with you, they don't start it, they keep it all year long. Right? Here they are. Fred and Laura trick-or-treating. And look who's handing out the candy. Right? Good old Ziggy. Ziggy's handing out the candy, but not before she puts woo-woo on it. She gotta put woo-woo on it first. Right? Woo, if the candy want to go with you. Right? That's what she's saying. She's like, woo, does the candy want to go with you? You know, Ziggy, she want to keep it all. She want to keep it all, you guys. Right? It cracks me up. It cracks me up, you guys. But anyway, that was an AI video. That was an AI video. But it took a lot of writing. It took a lot of writing, you know, to make it true. To make it, you know, to make it true. But, you know, but you've seen how AI put, you know, like, its own little spin here and there, you know, in it as well. That's how AI videos do, you know. You basically, you know, you could put a few words, or you could put, you know, write pretty much the whole story as in truth, put it in there, and then, you know, and then they'll put their own, you know, their own little spin on it for you, their own little spin, and, you know, turn it into like what you just saw. But the reason that the video you just seen, you know, told 99.9% of truth is because I wrote it all. You know, it's from all the research we do and we've done, and you know, and I took time to write it all, you know, write it all down. So that's how it works. I just wanted to give you guys an idea, and you can see the fake AI videos that these people's putting out there. They're not taking the time to do, to learn about the case, do all their homework, and and actually tell the truth, the truth about these cases. They're just, like I said, they're copying here, copying there what they can, about the case. Putting it into AI and saying make up a big story, and AI does, and that's what they're putting out there on you, and it's just clickbait, for you to click in on. I wouldn't click in on that stuff, but AI can be used. AI can be used for the good. It can be used for the bad. What I'm saying, it can be used for the truth, to get out the truth. Or it can be used to, as clickbait, basically. And that's what's the difference between the video we made and the videos they made. Theirs is clickbait, ours was, time spent and truth put into it. So, good versus evil. Good versus evil.
Let's go. Let's go. They know it, man.
Right? Exactly, lockdown. Listen, you guys. Put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat if you would like to see more AI videos like the one you just watched. If you'd like to see more AI videos like the Jody Sue, Grandis, Candace, Donald, with the truth weaved into it. Put a one in the chat. If you enjoyed that video, would like to see more of them, I can make more of them.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, it was.
Let's go.
I want to see one of the whales, right?
Everything you needed, I had.
I'm not sure what happened to Ernie. I have him on Facebook. I'm going to hit him up and see if he's okay, if everything's okay, everything's going good with him. Hopefully I'll get a response back. But I will check in on Ernie, to see if he's okay. I love Ernie. He's a good guy. He's for the missing kids. God bless him. He's Ernie. He's Ernie, right? He gets himself into a fix or a mess here and there, but he always gets out. He gets out somehow, some way. And but I will check in on him. I'll let you guys know, when I find out, what I hear and what I find out. I'll let you guys know tomorrow night, God willing. God willing, we're back here, and looking further into, into these missing children's cases. But I gotta say God willing, right? You gotta always say God willing, because it's His will. It's His will. If you're gonna be here, you ain't. So, God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. But listen, you guys, PG's gotta get out of here. I think I've kept you long enough, and I appreciate every one of you coming. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and I mostly, and above all, appreciate you supporting these missing children. And and supporting God with righteousness. God bless each and every last one of you who truly love and work as hard as PG does for these missing kids. I know all of you guys put time in as well, and I so appreciate it. So God bless, much love to each one of you. I'm going to say good night, but not before I ask you to send the prayers up for Summer and Moon and Tall Wells. I will not leave until I ask prayers for this little girl, because I know there is power in prayer. And from our lips to God's ears, he hears us through his Son, Jesus Christ. In Jesus' holy name, God hears us. He will answer. I think he is answering. He pulled a lot of truth to the light. A lot of things we didn't know before has came forth. And I'm sure God will continue to pull it to the light until we know exactly what happened to this little girl. And we get some justice for her. I truly believe that. So let us keep the prayers going up. And keep the prayers going up for Michael Vaughn, Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lee Sullivan. And keep them going up for little Emmanuel and the people around him that truly loved him and did not like to see what was done to him. So let us pray for them. Let's pray that they find some type of comfort in all of this. And let's pray that this little guy is found, that he is found in whatever the situation may be, that, he's looked over and taken care of well. In the name of Jesus, amen. And keep the prayers going up for one another. I seen someone in here tonight, talking about prayers for Ernie. Yes, let us pray for Ernie. Let us pray for him and whatever he's going through. Let us pray that God and Jesus Christ is there and helps him as well. I pray that God and Jesus is with each and every last one of us in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Good night, everybody. God bless and much love.
Boom.
Sometimes I just want to be alone, man. Just some time to clear my head. Away in my phone. No bullshit, no drama. 'Cause I'm feeling so distant. What's the point of saying it if you won't listen? Don't mind me. Over here trapped, trying to find my peace. It's a long way back, grass isn't always green. Feeling so distant. No, I'll never stay up too busy.
Hey, what's up? It's 616, shorty bad as fuck. We're red lipstick, but I'm on the road and I'm never home. Baby, kiss the phone. We're red lipstick, like, hey, what's up? It's 616, shorty bad as fuck. We're red lipstick, but I'm on the road and I'm never home. Baby, kiss the phone. We're red lipstick. Making bad decisions with a bad bitch. You might go wrong and you can suck my dick on a tightrope, and I ain't never gonna slip. And I'm looking both ways, so I ain't never getting hit. My castle of blood with bears and bug. So baby, let's fuck, run away with you. So tell me, boo, what you trying to do right now? Come through. So tell me, girl, I am on my knees. I will fuck your arm if you play with me. And when I know that I really can't go to the well when it's not what I truly decide on. When it's killing me, when I really see all that I need to look inside. Hey, what's up? It's 616, shorty bad as fuck. We realistic, on the road and never home. Better kiss the phone. We're realistic. Hey, what's up? It's 616, shorty bad as fuck. We realistic, but I'm on the road and never home. Better kiss the phone. We're realistic. Stick, 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 stick. The more I see, the less I know. The more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, the more I see, the less I know. The more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa. People need the cover of another perfect wonder where it's so white as snow. Yeah, finally divided by a world that's undecided when there's nowhere to go. Hey, what's
It's an ass. It ain't gonna do shit, bitch.
That Andrew, how did you like that?
Eat a dick, bitch. Oh, is that all you got, sweetie? You ain't shit, girl. You're pathetic. And by the way, that ain't gonna get me copyright, you fucking moron. And that ain't even gonna get me against community guidelines either. Fuck steak. But go ahead, do your dumb shit. I got all day. I don't care. Nobody's afraid of you. You need to stop spreading your bullshit. Really, ho? You forget I own your shit now, bitch. Didn't go far, did it? Some people never learn, y'all. Oh, you left? Good. Well, that means... Oh, really?